Alrighty guys, what's going on? Welcome back to a brand new video. So today we're going to be making a tier list of all the Harry Potter movies. So I'm going to be going through each of them and kind of giving my thoughts on the movie, and it'll be like a little bit of a review, I guess, for each of them. So I spent most of October rewatching all of them because I haven't seen them in a very long time, and there's just one of these film franchises that I kind of wanted to revisit. So before we get started, though, this FB category, I have not seen either of the Fantastic Beast movies, so they are automatically just going to go in the bottom. Not because they're bad, because I don't know, but because I just haven't seen them. Yeah. First up, we have Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. So this movie, it's okay. It's not my favorite, to be honest. It's a pretty good introduction to the wizarding world, though. Especially, I like how it starts off kind of in like the human world, or the Muggle world, I guess, in their universe. But it kind of slowly evolves into the wizarding world. So you start off kind of with normal humans and whatnot, and then you get introduced to the wizarding world, and it just builds on from there. So I really like that. The main characters, especially the three kids, Ron, Harry, and Hermione, they don't necessarily do the greatest job, but I mean, you kind of gotta give them a little leeway there because they're still child actors at this point. So I can't really dock them too many points for that. But I still enjoyed the movie. It's like I said, a pretty good introduction to the Wizarding World. So yeah, I'm gonna give Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone a C. I know that might be a little low for some people, but that's just how I feel. So next up, we have Chamber of Secrets, and I like Chamber of Secrets. I thought it was pretty good. It, a lot like Sorcerer's Stone, is not one of my favorites, though. I've actually seen a lot of people say that they really dislike Chamber of Secrets, which kind of surprises me a little bit because I think it's much better than Sorcerer's Stone. But yeah. So basically, if Sorcerer's Stone was kind of the introduction to the Wizarding World, this kind of just evolves it a little bit more, and that's kind of what all of these movies do. Especially the first three, they kind of evolve it, and then like four through like Half Blood Prince is just kind of him living in the Wizarding World. So yeah, I really liked all the new characters that are introduced. Gilderoy Lockhart. You see more of Dobby in this movie. This is actually his introduction. I forget if Lucius Malfoy is in the first one, but I really liked his performance in this one as well. But yeah, so the whole Tom Riddle's diary thing with the Chamber of Secrets was really cool. I really like the way that the final battle takes place in the Chamber of Secrets and whatnot. With the basilisk. The fight between Harry and the basilisk once he has the sword of Gryffindor is a little short, which I mean it's understandable. But I would have liked for that to have gone on a little bit longer. But yeah, this is also the introduction of the very first. Well, I guess second Horcrux if you count Harry as one of the Horcruxes. But you don't really learn about that until Deathly Hallows Part One. So, well, I guess you don't learn about it until Half Blood Prince, but you don't learn Harry's one until one of the two Deathly Hallows. But yeah, Chamber of Secrets. It's just an evolution on Sorcerer's Stone, and honestly, I think it's pretty good. So I'm gonna give Chamber of Secrets a C as well, but I'm gonna place it above Sorcerer's Stone. Next up is Prisoner of Azkaban, and honestly, when I was going into this, kind of remembering from when I watched them the first time, I remember Prisoner of Azkaban just kind of being okay. I know it's like a lot of people's favorites, compared to like the rest of them. But for me, I was always like, it wasn't really that good. But upon rewatch, like this movie's really good. Like honestly, this might be the best out of all eight. Like I'm not even joking. So Prisoner of Azkaban, the way it's shot, to be honest, is like the cinematography is just phenomenal in this movie, and it evolves our characters a little bit more, especially Harry once he learns that Sirius Black is his godfather and whatnot, and he learns that he actually has a family member out there, and I really liked what they did with Hermione and the time turner. Especially like it was kind of weird. Like the movie felt like it was over after the fight in the forest with Harry and his Patronus. But then you get this whole extra like 20-minute time travel movie basically at the end, which I thought was really cool. So yeah, honestly, I think that Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban is like one of, if not the best Harry Potter movies. Like I said, just evolves our characters even more. It expands upon the Wizarding world with the like introduction of Patronuses. You learn about werewolves and how people can turn into different animals. So yeah, I think that Prisoner of Azkaban is honestly one of the best. Next up, we have Goblet of Fire, and I'm just gonna go ahead and rank this above Prisoner of Azkaban. I know I just said the Prisoner of Azkaban is probably the best, but Goblet of Fire has always been my personal favorite. I'm a sucker for the tournament settings. I love it when characters are forced to like fight in a tournament and whatnot. So automatically, this one's really good. But also, this one feels like it's the most human out of pretty much all of the Harry Potter movies. Like from here on out, from four to Half Blood Prince, you kind of get a more human feel. This movie's not just the tournament and whatnot. Like in between, they have to find dates and go to a dance with those dates. And to me, it was like there's one line where Ron and Harry are trying to get dates, and Ron's like, "We're never gonna get a date at this point," or something like that. And Harry's like, "I'd rather fight the dragon again than ask a girl out." And I was like, "Yeah, that's kind of relatable." So yeah, and then honestly, like the graveyard duel at the end was just it's always been one of my favorite scenes. That scene has always stuck with me for some reason, and I just really like the scene, and I like the movie overall. It's definitely the start of the more mature Harry Potter films, especially at the end. At the beginning, it's kind of more of the same of like the first three, where it's like kind of more lighthearted. But then as the tournament goes on, and then especially once Cedric Diggory dies, it's like, oh, this is the first time that like a student has actually died, like doing one of these things, like so it starts to get a little bit more mature here. So I really like this film. It's my personal favorite. Next up, we have Order of the Phoenix, and to be honest, I remember Order of the Phoenix kind of being the worst one, but upon rewatch, I actually really liked it. I thought it was, it was really good. I gotta be honest, I didn't really like Umbridge. I don't think anybody likes Umbridge, or I don't think you're supposed to like Umbridge. But I thought the movie itself was pretty good. Harry's kind of stepping into his own here. This is the first time that we've really seen Harry. You know, he says in the scene where he's trying to get Dumbledore's army together, he's like, I don't know how I've survived this long. It's just been dumb luck. But this is the first time that Harry's kind of taking control of his fate, and taking control of being the chosen one, and he's trying to teach all these different students how to defend themselves against the threat that is coming, that is Voldemort, that as we see in Seven Part One and Part Two. So I really enjoyed this movie, to be honest. The final battle where they go to the Ministry of Magic and try to find the prophecy. I like it, but it's also a little weird. It didn't really feel like a final battle to me. Between like, I feel like Harry should have fought Voldemort at the end, especially after they get the prophecy and after Sirius Black dies and whatnot. But Dumbledore ends up fighting Voldemort and kind of saving Harry and whatnot. So I feel like for this movie to kind of maybe push it a little bit forward, we should have had Harry kind of fight Voldemort a little bit. And I guess that he does, in the sense that he fights him off once he gets possessed by Voldemort with the power of love. So I don't know. Maybe that's okay. Maybe it's pretty good. But yeah, honestly, I think Order of the Phoenix. I think it's a B. I remember it kind of being everybody's least favorite, but now that I'm kind of thinking about it, especially after rewatching it, I think it's actually pretty good. So next up, we have Half Blood Prince, and honestly, I think that this might be the weakest of the 8 movies. Um, I don't know. Like, I personally, I like the story, where well, especially like once he gets the book, which, by the way, the scene with like him and Ron fight over the good book, like the book in good condition, and then the book in the terrible condition. That's very, I like that a lot. That was something that I definitely did back in school, and seeing the Half Blood Prince's book, and he's trying to learn all these different. He's basically excelling at all of his classes in using this book, and I think that that was really cool that all that happened. And then the ending in particular was actually more of my favorite. You see when Harry and Dumbledore, I should say, go and find one of the Horcruxes, and it turns out to be fake. I like that a lot. I wasn't too keen on all the relationship stuff that goes on in this movie, like Ron and I forget her name, Ron and that one girl, and then like Hermione and I think it's Dean. Like they kind of have a thing, but not really. You don't really see it on screen, but yeah. So the relationship stuff, I think, kind of maybe should have been saved for like Order of the Phoenix. I don't remember if it was actually in the book or not, if they had that whole relationship stuff, but I feel like that should have maybe been in Order of the Phoenix if it wasn't. Um, but yeah, so I really enjoyed most of it, but it was definitely one of the more awkward ones, one of the more weaker ones in my opinion. Snape killing Dumbledore was pretty cool. It's not like the book though. From what I remember in the book, Snape just kind of appears and then kills Dumbledore, and then you're like, oh, so Snape's been the bad guy this whole time. And in the movie, he sees Harry underneath the bottom layer of the tower, and he kind of like whispers to it or like tells him to shush, and then he goes up and then kills Dumbledore. So it's kind of like, oh, so maybe he's not the bad guy, but in the book it's definitely like you close the book and it's like, oh man, he was the bad guy this whole time. So the mystery there is a little lost, but overall I think that Half Blood Prince is it's pretty good. There's not one of these movies that I dislike, but I definitely think that this is the weakest one. So next up we have Deathly Hallows Part One, and from what I remember, I really like this movie. Um, Before going into it again, I thought that I really enjoyed this movie, and I upon rewatch, I really did. Seeing them, there's a lot of camping in this movie, which might be an issue for some people, but for me, I actually really enjoyed the camping. One of the things that bothered me a little bit was once they got camping. It's very focused on these three characters, the Ron, Hermione, and Harry trio. Once they go on the run away from Hogwarts. Um, but one of the things that I think they should have done, and I don't remember if it was in the book or not, was kind of maybe go back and forth between Hogwarts and seeing what's happening as Snape is headmaster. I think that maybe would have made the camping seem like maybe it's shorter than it was. Which I mean, in the book, you flip pages, as you read, and it's like, oh, they're still camping. But yeah, so I think that maybe if they had given us perspective of some of the other characters, because one of the things that Harry Potter does that a lot of other franchises don't is they expand upon the side characters a lot, like Neville and Cho, just two of the characters I can think of. They expand upon them a lot for being just side characters. So I kind of really wish that they were more in this movie, and we had seen a little bit more of what Snape has done to Hogwarts now that he's killed Dumbledore and he somehow ended up headmaster. I'm not sure how he did that either, but yeah. But overall, I really enjoyed the scene where Ron, has to kill the locket with the Horcrux in it. But so Ron in this movie feels a little bit more like Goblet of Fire Ron, where he's kind of mad at everybody for no reason. Like, from what I remember, the scene with the locket, he has the locket around his neck, and then he takes it off, and yet he's still mad. Like earlier, we see Harry kind of get mad with it on, and then when he takes it off, he's not mad anymore. But Ron, for some reason, just kind of stays mad in this movie. Um, I'm not really sure why. Like I think it's from what I remember, I think it's because he was kind of jealous between Harry and Hermione. But I mean, we all know that that's not how it goes. But yeah. But honestly, I think that this movie is really good. the ending, the cliffhanger with Voldemort getting the Elder Wand was definitely a really good ending. Um, I didn't see this in theaters, but I imagine that was a pretty good cliffhanger. So yeah, so I'm gonna give Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part One a B. And then finally we have Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part Two, and I like this movie pretty much the same as Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part One. There's a lot more in it that happens that I really like. Oh, going back to Part One real quick with Dobby's death. That's kind of where the second part picks up, which Dobby's death was a little bit sad and whatnot. Yeah, feels bad, Dobby, but yeah, the second one kind of picks up where that left off. The second one opens really weird, in my opinion. Like it opens in a really weird way. It's not like the book. I feel like there was a lot of information kind of left out of this one, especially in the beginning where they go to Gringotts and go to Bellatrix's vault to get the Horcrux, the Chalice Horcrux. So with they give Hermione Polyjuice Potion to make her look like Bellatrix, but then they just give Ron like a fake mustache and beard. That didn't really make sense to me. And then especially with in the book, there's a lot. There's when the Goblin asks her to present Bellatrix's wand. They have her wand at the end of part one, but in the book it's told that they want her to present the wand because they know it's been stolen. So if she presented her wand, they know it was fake. I don't think that line is in the movie from what I remember. I don't remember it being in the movie. So it's just kind of weird that Harry just kind of casts a spell on the kind of boss goblin, and then he's like, "Oh, okay, we'll just take you down to the vault." So like I don't remember how it happens in the book, but I do remember that the whole wand being stolen thing does not happen in the movie. But yeah, from there when they get the chalice and then ride off on the dragon and whatnot, I like that part a lot. Pretty much, I enjoyed this movie. Probably a little bit more than Deathly Hallows Part One, just because there's a lot more that happens in it. Deathly Hallows Part One is more kind of not necessarily small scale, but it's definitely just more compact in its storytelling. This one definitely feels like the finale. Um, once we see everybody kind of fighting at Hogwarts, and then after Snape dies, it's very much a broader movie. All right, sorry about that cut again. We're just gonna wrap this up. I think that the movie kind of sidetracks a little bit to give you more of Snape's backstory after he dies, which I like. It kind of fills in some of the gaps in between some of the movies, especially when Dumbledore's talking about how Harry has to die at the exact right moment and whatnot. And then like you see the Snape and Lily Potter relationship, how Snape really liked her and whatnot. So I like that the it kind of sidetracks a little bit, but it doesn't deteriorate from the movie too much or derail from the movie too much. Um, yeah. So then one of the more memorable scenes is when Harry goes to the Forbidden Forest to confront Voldemort, and he actually ends up dying. To me, I always thought that it was because he had the resurrection stone inside of the snitch that he was able to come back to life. But apparently, it's because he the when Voldemort or when Wormtail took Harry's blood at the end of Goblet of Fire, it gave Voldemort Harry's mother's protection spell. So as long as the protection spell lived on in somebody, then Harry was still able to come alive. I don't really understand that a whole lot, but that's apparently what happens. But so yeah, Harry comes back and fights Voldemort, and it's a pretty interesting battle between him and Voldemort. Especially like so once Neville kills the Nakiti, the snake that Voldemort has with the Sword of Gryffindor, which, by the way, Neville's my favorite character in any of these movies. I think Neville's awesome. So once Neville kills the snake, then Voldemort just kind of deteriorate. Like you don't really see Harry kind of kill him or anything. Like they do the whole wizard lightning battle thing, but Voldemort just kind of stops and then he just gets Thanos snapped. He just disintegrates. So that was a little anticlimactic in my opinion. I feel like we should have maybe had seen a little bit more from that, but yeah, overall, Harry breaking the Elder Wand was actually a smart choice in my opinion. So go Harry there. But I don't know how a lot of people feel about the 19 years later prologue, but I think it was pretty good. I know a lot of people don't like the Albus Severus Potter name, but personally, I think it's okay. Um, Maybe instead of Sirius or instead of Severus, he said Sirius or something like that. Maybe that would have been better. I don't know, but yeah, I like that we kind of get this ending with all of them grown up and having kids and then sending their kids off to Hogwarts. I don't under One of the things that bothered me was that at the end of Deathly Hallows, once Harry Potter comes back to life, all the Death Eaters are underway, and that includes Draco and the Malfoys, and then Draco just shows up again on the platform 9 3/4 at the end of the movie. So like with his kid, so like personally, I would like. Wouldn't he be like banned? Like, wouldn't his like entire family be banned from Hogwarts or something like that? Like, we see him at the like. I don't know. It's just weird to me, but yeah. So I like the ending of this movie. I don't know how a lot of people feel about it. You can let me know down in the comments whether you like it or not. But yeah, I thought it was pretty good. So I'm gonna give Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part Two. I'm gonna put it slightly above Part One, but it's still gonna be in B. So here is my rankings. I have Goblet of Fire as my favorite, and then Prisoner of Azkaban. I don't know about let's see. Let's rearrange some of these here. No, I kind of like this. I kind of like this way. So yeah, so I got Goblet of Fire as my favorite, then Prisoner of Azkaban, Order of the Phoenix, Deathly Hallows Part Two, Deathly Hallows Part One, Chamber of Secrets, Sorcerer's Stone, and then Half Blood Prince. So this is my list, and then I got the two Fantastic Beasts down here, which I might review them one day and maybe update this list. But I don't have any plans to see them anytime soon. But yeah, so with all that being said, here's my tier list and kind of a little bit of a review for each movie. And yeah, so let me know what you guys think of my tier list and put your own down in the comments below. And with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out. Bye.